Hello, everyone. How's it going? And I'm back. I am back. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, some of you are in the API week, the Global Hack Week, API week that is going on. And some of you are in the AI Hackfest. And I hope there is a mixture of people who are in both. So I welcome you all to two things that are simultaneously happening, which is as I said, the Global Hack Week, API Week, and the AI Hackfest, the MLH AI Hackfest hackathon that's happening. So, as a part of both of them, I'm here to talk about GitHub Copilot. Specifically, how can we make better hacks faster with GitHub Copilot? Now, if you were in the opening ceremony of AI Hackfest, you might have noticed me talking about finding teammates and building a team and building project together. So here I am once again to present you a extra teammate who can help you build your project faster, quickly, and help you debug problems and find solutions to those problems, of course. So let's talk about GitHub Copilot. But before we do that, let me introduce myself again. So, hey everyone, I am UT. My name is Utkarsh, but I prefer to go by UT. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. I use he, him pronouns, and I've recently discovered that I do love to stream because I have streamed around like 62. I have 62 videos on YouTube on the Major League Hacking channel, all part of different Global Hack Week sessions that I have taken. So, yeah, that's about me. I like one of my fun fact used to be reading a lot of crime fiction novels, but that has kind of slowed down a bit, and that's why. And I think that's when I discovered that, oh, my time actually goes into preparing content for my streams so that I can help everyone learn what I have learned. Okay, so that's all about me. Now let's talk about GitHub Copilot, our AI pair programmer who is going to help us write, debug, and understand code. Now, what does GitHub Copilot give us? GitHub Copilot is, as I said, it's an AI pair programmer. But what can you ask it to do? You can ask it to, let's say, in your project, you want to create a button component. You can ask it to create a button component. You can prompt it to create a button component. You can, let's say you are writing code and your IDE throws some error, or when you try to run the code there is some error, you can ask it to fix that code. Or if you, let's say you found a solution that you don't fully understand and you are confused about how is this even working, you can ask it to explain your code or any other code under the sun to you. Okay, so that's about GitHub Copilot. And why should you use it? Well, because when you use GitHub Copilot, and this is what people say, that when they use GitHub Copilot, they feel that their productivity increases. They are less frustrated because, well, GitHub Copilot helps them find issues to the problems that they're facing, explain a difficult piece of code, or even help them create some uh, pieces of code which could be monotonous sometimes. It happens that when you're writing code you have to, let's say, create a fake API. And we are in API week, right? And if I have to create a fake API, it kind of gets boring sometimes. So what can I do? I can use GitHub Copilot. I can leverage GitHub Copilot to help create quickly some APIs, some fake APIs, right? So this is about why you should use GitHub Copilot. Now, uh, one thing before I move ahead and before I forget, actually, because I think I did, which is register for this event. Okay, so I realized that, well, this would be also part of Global Hack Week, and in Global Hack Week, or even for the AI Hack Fest, you should register for the event. So here is the registration link in the chat. Please do register for this event, so that you get your points and I get to know that who all joined. So this helps you, it helps me, it helps everyone. Okay, cool. So yeah, that was one thing that kind of missed my mind, but I quickly remembered. I hope I had a teammate like GitHub Copilot who would help me remember. Okay, anyways, so yeah, with that we can kind of safely say that sometimes 37 of hours of work and debugging can turn into a happy 24 hours where you can complete a project. And as part of, yeah, Hackfest, or even uh, the Global Hack Week API week, you can have GitHub Copilot as a teammate, and that will make your life a way lot simpler, right? Now, what are we going to do? We are going to, I'm going to demonstrate how to use GitHub Copilot. So we'll start from how to install, which includes installing Python, let's say. We'll talk about how to install GitHub Copilot, how to activate it. And good news is GitHub Copilot is now available for free. So AI programmer that is free. Wow. Right? So we'll talk about that, how to enable it, where you can find it, and I'll share some screenshots of how you can navigate GitHub and install it. We'll try to use it and we'll do a live demonstration once again. As you can now understand, I do love live demonstrations. So and we are going to demonstrate how to use GitHub Copilot to debug something, create something, and towards the end we'll talk about LLMs in general. Okay. So step one in this demonstration would be to install Python. Now I have it installed, but if you don't have it installed on your system and you want to follow along with me, then in that case, I would request you to download Python. Now you can find Python on by visiting python.org and slash downloads. So do I have a browser open somewhere? Let me quickly open a browser, and there we go. So this is my installation page for like the Python installation page. If you visit here, you can download the latest version for your platform. I'm on Mac, so it's suggesting download for Mac OS. But if you're on Windows or any other Linux flavor or any other environment, you can kind of find a whole list of operating systems that are supported by Python. So you can download one, and once you have downloaded it, you can, on Windows double click to install it. On Mac, you would use something similar to install. And once it is installed, you can actually check if you have it by opening your terminal and checking the Python version. So you could do Python-v in your terminal window. So let me get my terminal window out for you all to see. Yes. And now if I do Python-v, it says, wow, there is a lot of information, but it does say that I have Python 3.12.4 installed. Okay. So yes, I have Python installed. Okay. If you are following along, let me know. I will wait for a couple of seconds. For people who just joined the stream, may I kindly request you all to please register for this stream. You can register by going to events.mlh.io, and I can't really remember the whole link, so I'm going to paste it in the chat. Very simply, just visit this link, log in and register, and you would be registered for this event. Okay, now, without any further ado, let me move ahead. Now, once you have installed Python, this is why did we install Python, by the way? We installed it because the project that I'm going to use is going to be a Python project. So, if you're again following along and if you want to ensure that, oh, if my demonstration works on your machine as well, you would need Python. Next up, we should we let's go ahead and learn how to set up GitHub Copilot. Now, GitHub Copilot, if you want to set it up, you need an IDE. What is an IDE? So IDE is where you write code. Now, some of the popular ones are Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, Vim, NeoVim, and many JetBrains IDEs. Some people also prefer Notepad++. Uh, and yeah, definitely nowadays we have Cursor and like a ton of IDEs, right? So you can kind of add GitHub Copilot everywhere. Okay, it supports all of these things, and you can actually take it one bit further, and you can run it via your command line. Isn't that great? So yeah, it lives where you want it to live. My personal favorite is GitHub Copilot with Visual Studio Code. So let's talk about how you can install Visual Studio Code. So to download Visual Studio Code, you can visit visual code.visualstudio.com. Let me share that link in the chat as well. Let me show you how it looks like. Yes. So you have your code editor redefined with AI, download for Mac OS, but you can also choose your particular operating system. The link is in the chat for downloading Visual Studio, right? So yeah, you can use this link to visit the website, download Visual Studio Code if you don't have it already. One thing that I definitely love about Visual Studio Code is that it is lightweight, but it is powerful because it allows you to add extensions for most of the programming languages under the sun. I would say nearly every programming language under the sun. And with extensions, in the way we have extensions for programming languages, so Python, HTML programming language. I'm joking. So Python, your Java, if you want something else, you have IntelliSense for TypeScript. JavaScript runs by default, kind of. You can install Node.js, have extensions for that, like so many things. So similarly, we'll also install uh, Copilot as an extension because, again, powerful, right? So once you have downloaded Visual Studio Code and you follow the installation steps, which should be pretty easy, all you have to do is for Windows, you would download it, exe file, double click on it, install it. For Mac, you would follow something very similar. Once it is installed, then we have to add the Copilot extension. Now I have Visual Studio Code ready, so I will show you how to install Copilot extension. To install an extension, you can do it via the shortcut to open the command palette and type install extension, or you can also find it on the left panel. Okay, so this is the panel of extensions where you can find all my installed extensions, some recommended ones, and I can search for a lot of extensions. So in my case, I will search for GitHub Copilot. So if I search that, it gives me GitHub Copilot as an extension and Copilot Chat. I have it installed already, so I am going to uninstall it. Okay, and I'll show you the other way to install the extension. So the shortcut is Control Shift P if you are on Windows and Command Shift P if you're on Mac. I'm going to go Command Shift P, extensions, and install extensions. Okay, and now it opens the same thing, And here I search for GitHub Copilot and click on install. If I install GitHub Copilot, it automatically installs the GitHub Copilot chat. Okay. So now that we have installed it, what is the next step? The next step would be, so we have done this step. The next step would be, well, we have also done this step. Uh, Okay, so we have kind of moved ahead, right? The next step actually now would be to enable it. Now, enabling, as I said, GitHub Copilot is now free. Access to GitHub Copilot is free for the free tier. But if you want a pro tier or a paid feature for free and you are a student, you are in luck. You can sign up for the GitHub Student Developer Pack and you can get access to GitHub Copilot Pro tier and a lot of other tools that are available via the Student Developer Pack. Let me share the link to the Student Developer Pack sign up in the chat. There we go. So if you are a verified student, and how do you become a verified student? If you have a school email address, or if you have your fee receipt or any other document which proves that you are a student and it has an expiry date on it, then you can upload that on by visiting this link, adding your details, adding your school details, university details, uh, and yeah, uploading any required proof, and you would get Student Developer Pack access. And with that, you can get GitHub Copilot Pro. So, as a student, or if you are a teacher or maintainer of some popular open source projects, you can get access to the Student Developer Pack. And with that, you can get access to the GitHub Copilot Pro. Now, if you're not a student like me, then we have two options. In my case, I go for the next best thing, which is activating GitHub Copilot for free. So in this case, if let's say you have gone and signed up to the Student Developer Pack, or you're not a student anymore and you want GitHub Copilot for this hackathon that is happening in this on this week during this weekend, then we can get the GitHub Copilot free. And to do that, you have to go to your GitHub account in the settings. I have it already actually, so I don't think so I will be able to show it properly, but let's try. We go into the settings and then in here somewhere, what does it say? Navigate to billings and plans and usage, find GitHub Copilot under add-ons and enable GitHub Copilot free using the green button pictured below. So in the add-ons, you can add GitHub Copilot and you will get access to GitHub Copilot. So let's try that. Uh, So apparently I don't have billings and plans anymore. I don't have plans and usage anymore. It feels like. Hmm. Okay, so there's the usage and does not talk about it. But if you go over to Copilot and in here, you should basically get the option of enabling GitHub Copilot. Okay, or at least it will tell you what to enable, where to go. So it should be pretty easy, pretty simple to enable it. I am sure I have it enabled, which is why I don't exactly see what I'm supposed to see. Anyways, again, as I keep saying, go over to your settings, go to Copilot, and in here, if you don't have it, then it will tell you where to visit from here. Okay, or if you find the add-ons option, then you can uh, add on GitHub Copilot. Next is using the GitHub Copilot. Now, wait, I will wait here for a couple of seconds if there are any questions. So there's one question: what qualifies for popular open source project? That would be something like uh, something that has a lot of stars, maybe like 10K, 12K, a lot of users, probably. Uh, and you can find, like, let's say Wheat is one of the popular open source project, right? It has 72K stars. It has a lot of like less forks actually, and it is used by a ton of people, right? uh, and you can find that information if you visit npm.js Wheat. Like 26 million weekly downloads. So I would say this is one of the most popular open source project out there. uh, you don't have to be this big. You can be small, kind of, maybe like even 50K downloads, I guess, should suffice. But it depends on what GitHub would think what is a popular open source project. Okay. Now, moving ahead, how to use GitHub Copilot. So now that you know that it is actually enabled already for me, uh, let's try and use it. So to use it, we are going to create a new project. Uh, we are going to clone a Git repo, and we are going to walk through it. Now, I do have a folder already created, so I'm going to do it from the next steps, where I'm going to do Command Shift P, open the command palette, and type git clone in it. And if you see that there is this git clone, let me also zoom in if that makes it easier to understand. Yes, and we are going to say clone from GitHub. And what is the repository name? So we are going to clone the mlh slash copilot dash starter. So I'm going to type mlh slash copilot dash starter, and I'm going to hit enter. And it says, oh, where do you want to add it, load it? Now, in my case, I want it here. So I'm going to show you a different way as well of where you can get it from. So this one is available, as I said, on GitHub, on MLH Copilot slash starter. So you can find the project by visiting github.com slash MLH slash Copilot dash starter as well. And I'm going to follow the steps right here. Let me share this link in the chat for anyone who is following along. Yes, yes, yes. I was just about to do that. Thanks. There we go. So this is the project that I want you all to clone and for following along with me. So once you have, so how do you clone? Once you have reached this, you will see that there are steps. So to use this app, first clone the package to your local machine. I'm going to click this copy, come over to my VS Code. Actually, let me change the color because I think the GitHub color and my VS Code color are the same. Uh, shall I go for okay, very different color. Okay, so now you know there is a stark difference between where I am, whether I'm on browser or here. So I'm going to paste this. This is going to git clone the repository in this folder. Now, to do this, you have to have Git installed on your machine. Okay, so I hope you do. If you are curious about what is Git, how it works, right before this stream, there was a Git good with Git. a stream, and you can find that on the YouTube channel of Major League Hacking. So definitely visit the YouTube channel of Major League Hacking. Find that if you are not aware of what is Git. So now that I have cloned it, there is a new folder here, copilot-starter. I'm going to cd, which is move into or change directory into the copilot starter folder. So cd into copilot starter, and I'm going to clear this. So now my path says that I am in copilot starter folder. Okay, next steps. What we want to do is open app.py. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to move over to Copilot Starter and open the app.py file. And it has some code. Now I want to run this code. So to do that, I first need to install the requirements. Okay. Also, I am not sure what this code does. So in that case, I will leverage GitHub Copilot to kind of explain me what is going on. So first, step one, I am going to install everything, all the requirements or all the libraries as suggested right here. Okay. Or actually, let me take a step back. Let me ask GitHub Copilot to tell me what is happening and what should I do. So let's go over to my app.py, and I am going to use the shortcut Control I or Command I and type /explain. So let me do Command I, and I'll go /explain. Okay. And we can give it a further prompt like explain how this code works, what is this code about. Let's try with just /explain, and here you can choose which model to use. I am going to go with, let's say, GPT-4o for the time being, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now let's see what comes back. So it says that the active selection, oh, I did a control A out of habit, defines a Flask web application that serves the number of seconds since the Unix epoch, which is January 1st. There is a app variable in the instance Flask class, and it talks about the decorator maps route. Okay, it talks a lot of things. Okay, perfect. So there is something going on where there is a Flask application, and there is a route already, a home route, which calculates the seconds function is executed, and it calls the seconds since epoch function to get the time in seconds since 1st of January 1990. Now I'm going to ask it, how do I run this project? Okay, so I'm going to ask it, how do I run this project? Assume that I have no idea of how to run this. Okay, so I'm going to ask a follow-up question. Okay, and what it did was it actually overwrote my code. Okay, it said do Flask run, and it overwrote my code. So I'm going to click on close for the time being. Okay, now the next thing that I want to show you is we could do inline chat again. Let me try. I want to run this app.py. How to do it? So I can ask it, and I can also change the models. Actually, I have a bunch of models. I'm going to go for, let's say, okay, Gemini 2.0 Flash, and it gives me some code. Okay, not really helpful. Let's see what our uh, PPT says. So our PPT says to create a terminal and then type these commands. Okay, so let's go via the PPT route. So now what we have seen is that we can ask it to explain the code, but when I try to tell it to run the code, there is some failure. This is kind of on the next bit that I would have talked about, which is you need to know exactly what the LLMs are giving you back, or at least have slight idea. So basically verify every answer that you get from an LLM. Now in my case, I know that the answers that I was getting was not exactly perfect, so I went and seeked help. So now I have to type the following commands. First command, python dash m venv. So let's try that. Okay, and I hit enter. What it did was it created this venv folder. Okay, the next step would be venv scripts activate. So let me do that. Venv slash scripts slash, actually I'll have to do a source because I'm on Mac. So source venv. So on Mac, I'll have to do venv bin activate. And if you see, there's a difference here. There was a base up to this point, and after this source venv bin activate has run, there is this copilot starter now. So what it is doing is it's creating a virtual environment and it is activating that virtual environment. Now if you are not aware of what this is, we can go and ask copilot, right? So let me open copilot again. I can ask inline, or I can also ask it uh, in a separate chat. Okay, so let's try a separate chat as well, because I want to show you everything that we have about Copilot. So if I go over to a separate chat and I ask it, explain the following commands. The first command that we had to run was python dash m venv space venv. The second one that we had to run was venv slash scripts slash activate. And the third one was that we have not run yet, which is pip install dash r requirements dot txt. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to let it explain it to me. Meanwhile, while that is happening, let me also clear this and run the last command, which is python dash m requirements.txt. Now, while it is understanding what is going on and it is coming up with an answer for me, it's thinking a lot. Nice. Let's go ahead. The next step is to run this project, and to run this project we can do python dash m flask run dash dash debug. Now, okay, coming back, it does give me some answer. It says these are the commands commonly used to set up and manage Python virtual environments. And okay, good. Okay, so it does give me an answer, which is not really nicely formatted for the time being. Anyways, uh, it talks about the first one. It creates a new virtual environment venv in your current directory. The second one, it activates the virtual environment. The third one, it installs all the Python packages listed in the requirements.txt file right here. Okay. So now that we have done all of that, let's move on to the next step. The next step is to run this project. We do by that by doing python dash m flask run dash dash debug. And I hit enter and it starts something on this particular URL. So let's go and visit this URL and see it in action. And if I see that in action, it does not really look like a very good action. It says there is a type error. The view function did not return a valid response. The return type must be this, but was int. Okay. Now what is happening here? Oh yeah, we are okay. We should be expecting an error. Okay. Now, how do we fix this error, and what can we do to fix this error? Now, we could Google it, or we could Copilot it. Let's try the Copilot way. So, to do that, we can open GitHub Copilot and type /fix and provide it with some context. Okay. So, uh, I am going to copy this whole thing. I am going to go over to my VS Code and I am going to tell it. So command I /fix, and I'm going to give it the error. And it says that the problem is in seconds function is returning an integer, but Flask expects a string dict list tuple response instance or WSGI callable. To fix this, convert this integer to a string before returning it. That sounds about right. So I'm going to accept the answer. And I'm going to go over and reload the page, and the error is gone and it now gives a number. So this is the number of seconds that have elapsed since 1st of January 1970. Okay, I'm going to take it as correct because it does change. Like if I do multiple refreshes, okay, so it does change, so it is seconds, and I think it's about right. Now we have successfully fixed the error. Now we can also ask it to add something. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell it to add a route that shows hours since the epoch. So I've asked it to create something new, and it does that. And let's say I want to do an except here. There is one problem. Python is more of an indentation language, so things need to be left. And now that I have done that, it says we can visit /hours, and it should show how many hours have gone since epoch. So let me go to /hours, and oh wow, 484,000 hours have elapsed since 1st of January 1970. Okay, now we have basically seen that it also created something, right? So powerful. Now what if I want to create for minutes? What if I want to create for days? If I want to do that, I can give it a command, but if you hit enter one or two times, it understands what I'm trying to do. It has some context, and based on that context, it now has started suggesting me things, and I can just do a tab, press a tab to accept the answer. And it says days since epoch, app route days, this weeks since epoch, and all I'm doing is pressing tab, months since epoch. Okay, uh, I think this is enough for the time being. Let's go over and check it out. So /days. Okay, there was /weeks, right? What about /months? 672 months. Okay, I think that's pretty good, right? So we have it understood the context of what we are building, and it started giving suggestions. And all we did was press tab, tab, and tab, and we got to where we wanted to be. So we have kind of used, not kind of, we have actually used GitHub Copilot. We have done the setup. We know that it is now available for free. So you all can have access to the same thing that I have. And if you're a student, you can use the student developer pack access to get GitHub Copilot Pro for free, as long as you are a student. And yeah, I think it's pretty powerful tool to have. It is like normally MLH suggests that you have four people in a team, but now we are also offering you a chance to have a fifth pair programmer in your team who can help you build hacks faster and quicker, and like awesome hacks, and you don't even have to worry too much about error codes. Okay. Now, the next step would be to remember one thing, which is Copilot can make errors. Okay. It will make mistakes and it won't really understand every time what I want it to do. Example, we actually saw that happening. When I asked it, how can I run this project? It deleted everything and it went like Flask run. Okay. Which could be true, but we had to do a whole Python dash M. We also had to do a installation step before that. So these were the things that were missing. So you need to ask it the right questions kind of to get the right answers. And sometimes the answer may sound correct but may not be, because all it is doing is it is predicting the next best word. Okay. So in our case, if I had given it some more context, like this is a Python project, I don't know how to install the required libraries, what is the command for it, maybe it would have performed much better. It would have given me a better response. So please understand that Copilot can make mistakes. It is trained on already existing data, and while new libraries come in, so it might be wrong about certain syntaxes, even though it is constantly being updated. Sometimes there is a chance, like let's say tomorrow wheat 7.0 comes in, where it has different syntax than wheat 6.0, and Copilot is not trained on it tomorrow. We may have some issues. If you're using it, we may face some issues, but we are hackers. We can find issues and we can fix them. That's what we are good at, right? So yeah, please understand, and edit the code it produces, make sure that it does what you want it to do. And at any point, if it is not doing it correctly, of course you can ask it in a different way, provide more context, and use it as your next teammate, right? So it's here for the entire hackathon. You can write complicated code, you can build some awesome hacks, you can use it during the API week to learn some new things about APIs, and yeah, just have fun with it. Now, if you want some additional resources, I have some links that I would like to share with you all. So one is the Copilot guides link, then some examples of Copilot that you can find, and finally the Copilot config. So there's the guides link, Copilot examples link, Copilot config link. So yeah, with that, I think I would like to take any questions that you all have. Meanwhile, while you are thinking of any questions, any potential questions, any potential things that you want to ask, may I kindly also request you to keep this form with you, the feedback form. The link is in the chat. Yes. Sorry, I missed the link. So if you visit the link, let me quickly show you around. So if you are participating in Global Hack Week for the very first time, then let me tell you that in Global Hack Week, we want to get your feedback on, let's say, how I did for the session, what I could have improved, and any constructive criticism that you provide, I will try and act on it. So it should take like 3 to 5 minutes. It should be pretty quick. So if you open this link, click on continue, What stream was this? This was the Copilot stream. So you can just search for Copilot, making better hacks faster with GitHub Copilot. Select that, provide a rating, provide any feedback, what you liked, what you didn't like, what could be improved, and yeah, that's it. So please do provide feedback. The link is mlh.link/GHW feedback. Sorry, I had a sneeze and I did not want to burst anyone's ears. Okay, so yeah, please do that. Please do provide feedback. And finally, any questions, anyone, before we end this session? I hope you all use GitHub Copilot, especially that it is a free resource. So I think it's a very powerful thing to have, and it can help you loads and loads. Okay, there is a question, ideas for hackathon projects, please. So I would point you to two resources. The first resource would be the uh, wait, let me share it with you all. mlh.link/hacker-guide. Here you can find some of our potential hackathon project ideas for AI Hackfest. Okay. Next, if you're using Copilot, ask Copilot as well. See what it comes up with. So best way. Next question, as a beginner, do you recommend using Copilot? Yes, I do. Use it in a constructive way. So, example, the way I used it, where I asked it to explain this code to me. So, use it to learn and use it to improve what you're doing. Okay. Don't ask it to build the whole project. That would be my suggestion for learning, from learning aspect. But if you know what you are doing, then you can ask it to just create fake APIs, let's say, as an example. So yeah, use it for debugging, uh, use it for understanding, use it to learn new things. uh, I think that ways it would really help you. It's like having a professor with you at all times, right? Okay, so project ideas, and I think, any other questions, anyone, before we end this session? I think it has been good, uh, with respect to all the questions. Not saying that I have been good with session, but I'm saying like all the questions that I'm getting, there are some really good questions about genuine curiosity, and I love everyone's enthusiasm that you all are helping each other, answering questions and everything. So that is really good. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate this. Okay, so if there are no further questions, thank you so much once again, everyone, for joining for this session. Uh, if you are participating in AI Hackfest, then I wish you all the best. If you're not participating in AI Hackfest, I urge you to join all the Global Hack Week sessions that are happening, and I'll be around. And I'll also be streaming. So I will be streaming tomorrow. I have two sessions tomorrow, Saturday, on WebSockets. So if you are hearing this term for the very first time, do join my session. But for the time being, I think this is the perfect point to end this session. And if you are, as I said, if you are not joining AI Hackfest and you have time, then join the next session happening with uh, which is with Charbel, and it is on Docker as API. So definitely join that session in Global Hack Week. For the time being, Thank you so much. And cheers, everyone. Bye bye. Oh, yeah, it is. But it's also fun. It is fun, frankly. Okay, now before I have a second sneeze, I would like to end this. If there are no further questions, if anyone has any questions, please let me know. But if they are not, I think perfect time to end. Okay, there is one question. Okay, I'm waiting for it. Waiting for one question. Which AI model to use in Copilot? I would say use every available one. Try it out. Okay, there is. I I'm not the best person to say what is best and accurate because I've tried all of them out, and depending, like sometimes some of them are good, some of them are bad. Uh, Bad in the sense like they don't understand the context, so I have to provide more context. Use any general purpose one. Use Sonnet. Use Gemini. Use uh, Open AI ones. Uh, Okay, what do I use the most? I switch. I seriously switch. I have no personal favorite as such. Depends kind of. Recently, I think wait, not recently. It's been a week since I have done personal projects because most of my time goes in work, and our work does not allow using GitHub Copilot. Uh, I think the last one that I was using was one preview, I think. Yes, that's the one that I was using last. uh, but again, no favorites here. Just use what works out. You could ask the same question to all the models and see which answer suits you the best. Okay, any other questions? There is another hacker. For them 4.0 works perfectly fine, so could go with that. Go with 4.0. Try that out. Okay, perfect. So if there are no further questions, thanks a lot, everyone, and I will see you around this weekend and even in the week. Cheers. Bye bye.